We are right here, downtown Syracuse. We are on Jefferson and South Salina. This is the old Syracuse Police Station. This building right here in front of you was the offices. Over here were the jailhouse inmates, and right next door to both of these buildings you had the actual courthouse. My correction, we are not on Salina Street, we are on State Street, South State Street, on the corner of Jefferson and State. Up here in this window, there's a moniker maybe across the board, across the windows here in the front. The Honorable James C. Tormey III, Criminal Courthouse, Onondaga County, the city of Syracuse. The old address for the criminal courthouse is 505 South State Street. Now, for the last month and a half, as I walk by the jailhousing side of the criminal system here on State Street, I sometimes hear people yelling out the windows. I'm not exactly sure if it's completely shut down or do they have inmates in there still and just waiting for transfer. I don't know how any of that works. But up here, we're coming up here on Montgomery Street, which we've actually been on this street several times this week. Right over here, you can actually see the backside of the East Fayette garage. We're gonna get a great view of it right now, so I've been getting only the front views, seamlessly forgetting the backside of it. So this is the backside of the East Fayette in Montgomery garage that they're tearing down. Right here in front of us actually is the courthouse. I can remember one time when they were trying to clean this building. They were trying to do it economically and organically, I guess you would use that word. They had a bunch of spray, light misty spray set up with like copper piping or maybe PVC piping, which just really means that it's like half-inch pipe and basically got holes drilled through it, and they let water run through it for like a month and a half, 2 months, and that they said clean this building. So let's actually get a good look at it. So just across the street from our criminal justice system, we have a marker here that says Discover Syracuse, the Freedom Trail, a great central depot in the Underground Railroad. I'm going to read some of these here. We have the 19th century African American resident Mary Robinson, born 1816, passed away 1868. She was probably born into slavery like many of the Americans here in Syracuse, became free when slavery officially ended in New York State in 1827. Bought property and formed a supportive community for freedom seekers. And then there's some other stuff down here, like right here. This right here is where they have the water fountain down here in the middle of Syracuse. And right now, for the first time ever in Syracuse, in my lifetime anyways, there's now a portable skating rink, if you will, But the reason why they did that was because they're trying to save people from getting hurt in the water fountain down here. So by putting up a roller skating rink, that stops the water from being able to be sprayed and people getting hurt. As far as goes for citations, I'm not exactly sure if they're putting out citations to people who are technically breaking the law for wading in a non-wading pool. But I'm going to film this right here because it's been a while since I've did any filming for this statue. This is the Columbus statue right here. It's right across the way from this church. Oh, also, I have some other projects coming up. I found out that there were Kmart right down here in Syracuse, and as soon as I found that out, I didn't even realize that, and it was actually happened in my time. They were here in the 60s and left in 1985, and they were at 400 South Salina Street, and I'm going to be doing a really big story about that. So right here, this is the Columbus statue, and also behind this is the courthouse that we were just looking at over there. And this was also used for a movie called Christmas Binge. They had a lot of fake snow out here. They blocked everything off. There was a newscaster. I forget the guy who played the newscaster, news anchor in that, but he's actually pretty funny. So right there where you see where it says, is it Friday yet? That right there, right underneath that area where that fire hydrant is, he was facing catty corner to the Equitable building, and he was interviewing some rowdy fans who were there to celebrate like the Winterfest, and they used the front of this right here as the set scene for the woman who was playing the city mayor. She is Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen's older sister. She was on the streets, not the streets of Philadelphia, but It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And we're on this side of us now. You know, this is a really gorgeous part of downtown. What brings it down is the degenerates and people just ruining the whole atmosphere. They come up, they'll beg you for money, they'll beg you for drinks, they'll get whatever they can get from you. Right here, it looks like somebody left something. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Oh, that's a plug. That actually belongs there. Okay, so if somebody wants to charge their phone, they can charge their phone and be all right. Maybe they can take a nap right here, and when they wake up, they have a phone. We are at 219 Jefferson and 350 Montgomery Street. Now, the reason why we have two addresses on this place is because there are two doors, and typically that means it's probably, tax-wise, it's probably not good, because that means you're paying taxes on both sides of that. But typically, let's say you have a house sitting right here at this corner. Wherever your front door is, whatever is considered to be your front door, is what your address will be. So your address will be, let's say you're on Lyman Street and Cornelius Street, right? See what I did there? So if you're on Lyman Street and your front door faces Lyman Street, you live on Lyman Street, whatever your address is, you know, for example. So the last couple of days, I have been sickened with poison ivy, allergic to the sumac that comes from the poisonous leaves, and I broke out really bad and I blistered up a little bit, so I spent a good part of the week only going to work and home. Alright, so depending on what goes on down here, I wanted to show you guys the other movie location, which I'm not going to. There's also one right down here. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something real quick before I went further downtown. I want to go right over here. There's a Chinese restaurant that's pretty good. I haven't been here in a while, but it's called Tang Flavor. So if you're down here in downtown and you're looking for a good lunch, here's a really good spot. It's called Tang Flavor Chinese. They have really good lunch specials in here. We'll get a quick view of it right now. See? I mean, it's all handwritten. This is what you call a mom and pop operation. There's also another place, if I make it down there, I will show you. Must have been a couple of parties down here. They're over here cleaning up. We just got done with the Syracuse Nationals here in Syracuse from July 16th until the 18th. Yep. Must have been, I'm not sure what happened down here last night, but I had no idea anything was going on down there. This actually could have been a basketball game, some type of event going on up at Carrier Dome. When you get those, people like to disperse downtown, drink at their local watering hole. So another part of my city is changing. Is right here on the corner of Jefferson and Bank Alley. Right here is where a local artist, Just One, filmed his music video. And then right here used to be a mixtape store called Soul Records. S.O.U.L. And they were a subsidiary of mainly, I believe, Uptown, and MCA Records was the parenting firm. But you had DJs coming out of here, right here even in Syracuse, like Joe Nice, one of the best DJs Syracuse had at the time. So I'm going to give you a shout out there. Now we're going to walk down here. I got actually a story to tell about the DG store. So What happened here last night? My city is really messed up at the moment. Here's something you don't see too often. The Landmark Theater is not on any level lit up, and it typically is regardless of the day, during the day, what part of the day. And then when I was a kid, I used to walk down here. Everything was set up slightly different. Right there where you see those lights in front of us, where you can sit outside, that used to be a Ralph Crawford McDonald's. And right here, where this is, about maybe 7-8 years ago, they had to tear a building down here because it was really unsafe for society. And just the people that are walking down here, and you have a lot of degenerates down here, a lot of uneducated people who think they're not doing anything wrong. Also, here's an old Rainbow. It's kind of abandoned. So, it looks like the window's cracked right there. So right here where it says, "Oh my darling," if I was to walk across the street right there, next to Bergen's, you get a really good shot. I might actually just do that. In this building right here, you used to come down here, downtown, while you're waiting for the bus. Maybe you'd stop in there, you grab yourself maybe a little apple pie, a hamburger, a McChicken. I'm not sure if they had them back in the 80s. But right there where the Dollar Wise store is, at one time there used to be a music store like FYE. I would go in there and I would buy all my 12-inch vinyl when I was a DJ. One time I bought Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn's Deja Vu, and it was a very rare mix on there. Toward the end of the song, after they say Uptown Baby, the song, the beat will play for like another maybe 5 or 6, well, not 5 or 6, I'm going to say about another 30-40 seconds. Then you hear KRS-One going, South Bronx, South Bronx, because of a lawsuit that they had for using the AHA Black Cow sample. For those who are going to look for that, AHA is AJA, and the name of the song is Black Cow. If you listen to the beginning of that, you'll hear different samples people use, like Shakira for My Hips Don't Lie, Deja Vu, and there's some other ones as well. But so right there at Inca's, that used to be a comedy club. I want to say the Funny Bone was down here first, and then it moved to Carousel Center, which currently is having some trouble. So is that mall going to last? Is it going to stay around? They literally just built what's considered the new part in 2012. So only 12 years. You're going to look at it maybe about 15, 16 years later, after you put all that money in there, plus the filtration system that they had to put in there because of the pandemic. But right here, you would be able to park right here or in one of the local garages, come down here, go in here and enjoy your comedy show. And right here on Washington, there was a movie Manodrome with Jesse Eisenberg. He went from here, zipping all the way down through here to the second light down there, zooming, in one of the scenes for the Man of Girl movie. Now, we're here on Washington Street, and this right here is the atrium. We had Adult World filmed down here in Syracuse, which is over where the skating rink / water fountain is. God Bless the USA. Joe Murray walked right through those doors right there where it says atrium. It's a spinning door that goes in circles. They used the federal building as a setting scene, and when they cut into the inside of the building, they were sitting right here. Wow, pretty cryptic. All right, so now we're gonna come over here. I think they're getting ready to set up maybe for another festival. They've been pretty busy down here lately. There was food trucks down here yesterday. Just totally was not like at all involved with wanting to make a video on food trucks, because I don't eat off food trucks and I don't support food trucks. Here's what they got for the new add-on for VO. I did a first year video for VO a while ago. You guys can go check that out on my channel. Yeah, so there's something going on down here. You got all this going on. Let's go out here, we get a better look. They're putting up a stage. So this event must not be all that big, because they were actually in here the other day moving a lot of this stuff around right here. This is what the skating rink looks like down here. I did an actual video for this. Here's a different angle from it. And then we have this stage going up. The Day of Orature. I have no idea, but that's the atrium where God Bless America was filmed, and a new movie that's coming out maybe mid-summer 2027. I don't know the exact date. I know they're still doing post-production and putting things together. They may be doing reshoots, but the movie that was filmed in there was a movie called Red Ink. It's a vampire movie if you're into that kind of stuff. But so my city is changing, and right here used to be the Post-Standard Herald Journal. This entire building that you're looking at. So we have Future Brand, VIP, there's another NBT Bank, and now the Post-Standard. Now the Post-Standard is only in one section of the building now. At one point they had stopped printing paper for about 20 years. And then within the last year or three, they decided to reprint, you know, for nostalgic purposes for people of a certain age. Not me. But right here, a movie called Adult World was filmed. Emma Stone was right here. Justin Nappy was sitting on this pillar right here, like right about there. And he pulled Emma Stone up, and they were talking about where they met, and there was a disagreement. And then they pulled up Emma. Yeah, then he pulled up Emma Stone, because the girl that he was talking to was the one from that Martha Plimpton TV show where they Raising Arizona, not Raising Arizona, but was based off of that movie. So we have POW, the Onondagas, and Americans. All right, and then we're gonna take a look at this butte. Right up there on that ball, there's some grass growing. I wonder if somebody should mow that. All right, we're gonna walk back over towards Fayette Street. Also, this is the same place where the ice skating rink is. So in the summertime at this point, it is a skating rink. We have a eye water station, or hand cleaning station. So when I'm actually done with this video, I'm gonna look up and see what the event is that is taking place today, because I didn't see anything on the events billboard, and I haven't in a while. And then we come up here with the all famous Jerry Rescue statue. I know I keep saying I'm gonna do a video. One day I'm really gonna do a video here. Right here is Masons, Lorenzo LaFace, Danny O'Sullivan. This was erected in October 1st, 1851. Oh, it looks like the Jerry Rescue moniker's got a crack in it right there. See between the Y and the R? In the wintertime, people are either buying hats, or some people are knitting knit hats for the homeless people. So if somebody needs a hat, they can come here, and there's other spaces around here where they leave hats. Like maybe sometimes they'll leave them hanging on certain things and say, if you need it, take it. Which is pretty cool, because if you're homeless, any bit of warmth is appreciated. So let's get one shot right here as we're walking by. Bicycles must dismount here. That's a pretty new sign. That was not there 2 years ago. Now we're gonna walk down here. If you remember the Taste of Syracuse, they were lined up all along here. You had the lemon juice cart out here, which, by the way, you guys ever notice, like, they use usually pretty decent sized lemons, but why? Why is it so sweet? There's like a pound of sugar in a glass, you know, contributing to diabetes. But we all know the risk of eating sugar and things that we do or we don't do to our body, and then we take it from there. So this is Washington Street. Over here is the Atrium parking lot, which takes up the last part of the block on Washington and the Clinton. They I don't know if that's you can rent, or it's available for anybody, or does it belong to the Atrium building over here where we were just at. I don't think there's that many people that are employed here. I'm gonna let this guy go at the Atrium building. I mean, at tops, maybe there's maybe 100, 300 people, between 100 and 300 at any given time, depending on what the workforce is looking at or looking like at the time. So now we're coming up to Clinton Street Pub. I know they're calling it something different, but when I was younger, I was coming out downtown when it was worth coming out and spending a hard-earned dollar out here. One of the things that made me stop coming out, I mean, I was 28, 29 years old, and I got charged $6.50 for one bottle of beer. And at that point in time, I don't know if I finished out the night or just got really disgusted, but I decided I'm not going out no more. Oh, and right here we have the Jim Boeheim mural. I have a short of the person doing the work on this. You'll have to go in my shorts and take a gander, and maybe leave a comment, tell me what you think. Well, Jim Boeheim is one of the most noticeable people here in Syracuse. He was in that movie with Shaquille O'Neal, Blue Chips, right? They asked, he only had a cameo in there, whereas the coaches from all around were sitting into like a conference room watching a bunch of audition tapes for the basketball players. And I don't remember what coach said to Jim Boeheim, hey, you can sign him. And then he said something, he goes, on his SATs, he got 700 points just for spelling his name right. So I don't know if that was a joke toward Shaquille O'Neal's real name, toward the character that he was playing, but nonetheless, that was his cameo in that. And he's been in some other movies too, I just can't remember. I do believe that Jim Boeheim is retired. His son, Buddy Boeheim, is a current basketball player. So right here, we are now in the Armory Square. Over here is the bar. So when I went to the bar one time, I was wearing a Newsboys cap, you know, like a Kangol hat with a button thing in the front, and I was told I couldn't wear it. So, you know, I contested a little bit. He's like, look, man, I really can't let you in if you're not going to take it off. I decided not to take it off and walked and stepped to the side. As I'm watching people go in there, he allowed one other person, a female, to go in with the Newsboys cap on. And look at it as you will, that was almost like a reverse sexism thing from that bouncer. And oh yeah, we're up here. This is where the 24-second shot clock was put to memory. At the moment, I can't remember the story behind why the 24-second shot clock was invented, but it was invented right here in Syracuse, and they still use the 24-second clock to this day. But when we walk up here, you'll notice it's not going to be there. I read online about a month and a half ago that they are working on it and they're trying to restore it. But up on James Street, at one of the local drugstores, there's a plaque up there. So that plaque and this 24-second clock go hand in hand. And it was sitting right here in the middle of these two trees. I actually have the full video you can check out on my channel. So we're on Walton Street. We're gonna come over here actually, go over to Fayette where I wanted to go. I try to avoid this area. I mean, we have homeless people always walking around and just asking for money. From one time I came here, and was I filming or was I getting food? Either way, by the time I walked 2 blocks from the bar to the end of the block, going that way, like right there where America Q is, go to that corner and take a right 1 more block. I was asked for money 4 times, which totals up to about maybe $5 of money being asked by an adult who was begging for money. Of course I said no, because I didn't want to do that. Right up here, see, this is the corner of the Fayette and Franklin Atrium Garage. And on the other end of this is obviously the Fayette Garage, the one that's getting torn down. We got Kitty Hoynes. Now, they haven't done it yet. Maybe it's a special event. But if you guys remember, they had little Kitty Hoyne stencils out here on the ground. And of course, the winter had washed it away, the rain, nature, so on and so forth. So this is the restaurant for Kitty Hoynes. I'm pretty sure the restaurant that I'm looking for is up here. I don't know what that guy's yapping about, but something about I ain't got nothing better to do. Alright, so, oh boy, is it gonna start raining? That's rain. Or it's sprinkled. Oh boy. So this is the York and Restaurant Lounge. Some of these places I just never been around. That, I don't know if you guys heard me, but that homeless guy was just kind of running his jibs, and I don't know, I just looked at him, see what he was doing and what noise he was making. And he was running his jibs, so maybe in the background you can hear him running his mouth. So here's the other place that I like to go to that a friend of mine told me about. If you guys are down here for the same price that you would pay for at Tang Flavor, and you happen to be on this side of the city, this is where you want to go. And they have this guy hanging out there. Very good staff here, very nice people. You order the food, within 12 minutes you owe $10, $11, maybe $13 if you're getting an egg roll and a drink, which I would prefer when I get mine. And here we are back at Clinton Street Pub. It is now called Sassy Saloon, or Salon Saloon. It has to be. Salon is a hair place. But like I was saying, I used to hang out there. And that Funkin' Waffles right there, that's a filming location for MGK and Pete Davidson for their song Loco, L-O-C-O. You can look that up on YouTube.